boys, and welcome back to another video. So in this video we're going to answer some questions asked by you guys. So I want to start off by saying that if you have any questions whatsoever, leave them down in the comment section and then I'm going to read through them. And if you like a question that someone else asked, just simply upvote it so I can see if it's a popular one. But yeah, I'm going to start right off the bat with like the first question from Odd One. What's the best farm for someone who doesn't play much? Like, you can ask 10 different gold farmers and they're probably going to give you 10 different answers, because there's no such thing as the best farm. And the reason why there's nothing like a best farm is because, let's say there was a certain farm that was the best farm out there, right? Like, would give you the highest gold per hour. Then you would have like everyone and your mom going for that farm because it would be the best one, right? So whatever you would receive from that farm would be filled and stocked up in the auction house. It would no longer be the best farm. Also would vary from realm to realm. But there's no such thing as the best farm, but a really good farm for someone who doesn't play much. Like, honestly, as I've uploaded in previous videos, you just gotta do a tiny bit of like legion gathering, like legion materials in general, and you should make enough gold. It really depends on if you play on like a high pop or a low pop. Because you can also do like volatiles and primals, because if you don't play that much, it doesn't matter if you have to repost them a few times, because the primals and volatiles would normally give you higher gold per hour than doing legion materials. So it's really based off your realm's price, but there's always an extremely high demand on both primals, volatiles, and legion materials. But for me personally, I would rather go and do like primal fire, primal water, and volatile fire and volatile water. Like, those are my go-to farm. If I really want to just get some gold, that's what I do. And the question number 2 is I kind of answered it. And that's, what's your favorite farm to make easy gold? Like, if I'm having a shitty week, like if it's like Wednesday, Thursday, and I notice that I don't really have that many sales, like it's not going as expected, I usually just rush my ass down to like volatiles and primals to like get a guarantee like 50k plus per hour, because then I know that I'm going to be back on track. However, if I did this farm like every single day, like every single farm that I did was like these steady farms that I could get like guaranteed 50,000 gold per hour, my gold per week, like my weekly clean out, would look so much different. Like, I would make so much more gold. But then, like, in the end, it's about enjoying what you're doing, and I don't really enjoy doing those kind of farms too often because it's kind of repetitive and kind of boring. So that's why I don't do them. Like, if I'm desperate, of course I'm going to do them, but normally, nah. I'm more of a transmog farming guy. Question number 3. How long do you post your auctions for, and how often do you repost and undercut? This really depends on what kind of realms that I play on. Like, my 2 realms, like other realms besides from Arch and Dawn, I always post for 24 hours, right? Because usually after a few hours, like 80% of your auctions are going to be undercut anyway. So there's no reason to post for longer than 24 hours, because you should undercut like before 24 hours has passed. So I always post my auctions for 24 hours because sometimes something comes up and I can't really beat her to repost. Like, it doesn't happen often, but you never know. And I repost, repost / undercut like 2 to 3 times a day. My routine is basically waking up in the morning, checking for undercuts, go to work. When I come home from work, I check for undercuts and repost. I stream, and after the stream, I repost and undercut. Like, sometimes I even do it an additional time, like later in the evening. But I normally like 3 times a day, like roughly. And by the time, like, it can be 4 hours. I can repost items, stream for 4 hours. Right after the stream, like 85% of my auctions have been undercut. So the next question is going to be this one. Basically, this guy Konstantin, he has problem with people undercutting his auctions by 1 copper. It's a pretty like normal undercut. Like, people should undercut by 1 copper because it's usually never about the price. What happens is, if you have a 10k item and instead of undercutting by 1 copper and you undercut by like 1,000 gold, the other guy with that item is going to take his item out of the auction house and go repost, and he's going to undercut you again. So you're going to be like, oh shit, now it's 9,000 gold and this guy is 1 copper beneath me. So you're going to take your item out and you're going to undercut by additional 1,000 gold. All of a sudden you're going to just drag the market value of the item down. And the problem is usually never the price when you have to undercut. It's usually just finding a buyer willing to buy that item. Like, it's going to sell for 10,000 gold and it's going to sell for 5,000 gold. You just need to find that lucky guy who happens to want the item. That's how it works. But when it comes to undercutting, like you have 50,000 gold in the auction house, that's not enough. You shouldn't worry about losing potential sales when you have 50,000 gold in item value in the auction house. Not at all. Like, don't worry about it. Like, repost items, or I mean, post items, repost whatever you feel like it. And once you come up to like 500 plus auctions, and you're talking like like at least a million plus in item value in the auction house, then you should consider undercutting. For me personally, though, I don't undercut that often. As I said, like 3 times a day. I don't really care if people undercut me. Like, I play on the realm where the majority of my viewers from EU play on is really, really populated, and there's probably a few auction house bots. Yeah, if you didn't know, there's definitely auction house bots in this game that just stands around and scans the auction house, and they undercut you instantly and repost. And there's also a lot of people like just playing the auction house. That's all they do. They never farm, so you're never going to get ahead of them, right? They're just going to stand on the auction house, constantly check for undercuts. They even have premium T7. They know when you undercut them, so they're just going to instantly take that item off the auction house and go and repost. And they just sit on the auction house and snipe all day. Buy materials, craft it into items, sell it for profit, and so on. Like, if you're not an auction house player yourself, but more like a farmer like me, don't worry about it. Like, just go out there and farm your ass off, and eventually you're going to get items that nobody has in the auction house. Eventually you're going to be lucky enough you're going to post items and they're going to sell before anyone has the time to repost and undercut you again. That's how I think, and that's how I do, and I feel like I make a decent amount of gold, so you just got to get up to like a stable amount of auctions, and it should work out for you too. And that was the last question for today. So as I said, if you got any questions, leave them down in the comment section. And if you liked the video, as always, leave that thumbs up. It would really help out my channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Until then, bye bye.